Welcome everyone, this is MTG Swarm, and the first thing I want to apologize is about a dog barking outside. He's just barking away. I think it won't be too bad, but okay. So today's video is the pre-release post notes. I have been really getting into card game stuff, and I feel like this is something I want to do. So, yeah. I went to the Force of Will pre-release for the Moonlit Savior. And it was a great time. Out of 36 people, I was 9th. There were a couple people who just got extremely good pulls. And I'm going to explain that in a minute. The first thing I want to explain is my what I built. And right now I have Abel, the Avenger of the Gods, or the Avenger of Gods. It was a promo card. We weren't allowed to use it. He's a nice card. He would have been awesome for my deck, considering I had a white and green deck. 7/7, 2-drop. 2-drop? 3-drop, sorry. I don't like that covering the one up there. 3-drop. Or you can incarnate him for 2 light resonators, and if you awaken for 2 light and 2 void, he destroys all other resonators. So you're going to destroy all other resonators anyway, you might as well go ahead and incarnate. So, he has target attack as well, not that he really needs it, but target attack. Okay, so that was our promo. Obviously, we're not allowed to use it. Nice looking card. Whoop-de-doo. Alright. The first thing I want to do is go over what I picked, and then I'll go over some of the stuff I saw and some of the stuff that I recommend to people. I went white and green. Straight white and green. Nothing else. I picked up a Seal of Shining Bamboo. Great card for white. For light, sorry, I'll try and say light and wind. Light because added resonator can attack while it can block. A moon will rest the added resonator. There's a couple of reasons I use the rest, because they still are a blocker. They still are a blocker even though they can't attack. So it was perfect for the big creatures that came out either early for a 1 white, that's pretty good, or at later game when I pulled it and I realized that I needed someone to not attack. This is just a good all-around white card for cheap. Yes, it doesn't destroy anything, but it really does mess with your opponent's field and mucks it up. Moonbreeze Elf. She is a ramp, and that's perfect. 1/4, 1 green. She produces a moon for her will, and she cannot be attacked, which means that tapping her for the will is perfect. It's exactly what you want to do, and she pretty much, I try to mull at the beginning of every game to get either her or my win condition card, which that proved to be awesome because there's several cards in my deck that take a void, and she was able to pay for that void and free up magic stones for me to play things like instants, which I have a lot of in my deck. Alright, so we have 2. Let me find them. Wind Secluded Refuge. These are really nice green cards. Green has a lot of counters and things to stop spells. When this card enters the field, draw a card. When a spell or ability your opponent controls targets a J Resonator you control, J Resonator, you may banish this card. If you do, cancel the spell or ability. This is anything. This is any spell or ability. If it enters the battlefield, whatever. Any spell or ability. It does not discriminate. It's just a spell or an ability. I saved myself from getting cards picked up. I saved myself from my cards being destroyed. I stopped lots of abilities on cards, and there are a lot of abilities on cards that you get that are 1, 2, 3 drops that just tear your cards up. That was perfect, and I happened to get 2 of them. They are uncommons, but it doesn't matter. It's still a pretty good card. We have 1... Oh, wait. Do we have 1 or do I have 2? Shining Strike. Yes, I only was able to pick up 1 Shining Strike. Choose 1, rest target Resonator and draw a card, or rest target J Resonator, draw a card. Great instant for white. I'll hold it up so everyone can see. Awesome card. 1 drop, so it's easy to keep it was easy for me to keep a mana or a will open the entire time. Great, great card. Being able to draw and then also rest a resonator. Especially my favorite move was using it on their turn, of course, because then especially there's a lot of resonators that were like the green. Was it green? Yeah, it was green. It was the 0600. Oh, no, it was blue. Shit, I don't remember. 0600 tap, change target. Change target or what was it? Something about its defense to its attack. Its attack equals its defense. So it was a 0600. It could tap itself before unrest, and be a 6/6 for 1. So a lot of times I would let them tap it, and then before they even really did anything, I would rest it before it could attack, and it's like, oh, you just wasted. That was helpful. There's some blue cards too that had some tap abilities. There's the Conductor's Wand or Baton. Tap this resonator, untap another target resonator. That was that's annoying. That's definitely a difficult card to deal with. So I also had 2 Kaguya's Premonition. Great card. Won me several games. This card is target resonator gains plus 200 plus 400 until end of turn. Awaken for 1 moon. Prevent the next damage that would be dealt to that resonator this turn. For each 100 damage prevented, put a 1/1 counter on it. I had a someone had a Mordred, and he sacrificed his resonator, and was supposed to do 1,000 damage. I awakened a Kaguya's, and it was, I don't even remember what it was, but that was 1,000. That's 10 counters. It was 10 counters. It's ridiculous. You know what it was? That's right. I won that game because it was one of my 1-drop birds with flying, and I used this, or I blocked, or no, he was going to do 1,000 damage to me. So I did this. I was already in the middle of attacking, and I did not block. I took the damage so that he would stay tapped, and I could keep my creature. I also didn't really know what was going to happen. And he got 10 counters on him, and then the next turn I played, which, like I said, it stops all damage dealt as well. Plus, let's say someone thunders you or demon flames you. You can prevent that damage and get 5 counters or 4 counters, depending on what card it is. Then I used Rhythm of Life. 3-drop green, target resonator, it's an addition, target resonator gets 800, 800. I had such a big card. It was like a 20/20. The guy immediately lost. I was flying. That's it. He had gone too far, and he didn't have anything that stopped me. And when it is put into the graveyard from field, put it in your hand, to the owner's hand. That was great. Having a creature destroyed, and then it goes right to your hand. That was nice. I had a nice new white luminescent bamboo bullet. This was a helpful card. Destroy target rested resonator. Destroy up to 1 second target rested resonator if this card was awakened. Awaken is a moon and 1. It does cost 4. It's a little bit costly, and you need a moon. But it did help me several times. It really did. It came into play a lot, a lot. I got lucky and got 3 World Tree Protectors. World Tree Protectors, 400, 400, 2-drop. When this card is put into a graveyard from your field, search your main deck for an avatar, which it is an avatar. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your main deck. This card gains 200, 200 for each avatar in your graveyard. Now I know I didn't get a lot of avatars, but it doesn't matter. These cards were able to help me keep some advantage. And, just having them in my graveyard, chump blocking and then getting another one out, 600, 600. Then when the third one, or the second one went, 800, 800 for 2. That's awesome. It helped me a lot. Helped me quite a bit. Let's see. We have this silly little combo, which I feel like I shouldn't have used in the end. I didn't really have anything else. I really didn't. I got a lot of crappy cards. I picked really good cards, but I was given a lot of crappy ones. Magic Screw and Maribel Insane Self-Aware Machine. Magic Screw gives a Resonator 600, 600 as long as it is with no attribute, for one. That's pretty powerful, for one. And 1200, 1200, 5-drop. Pierce. 1, rest another target, recovered Resonator. This card gains its attack and defense. To its attack and defense. That's pretty powerful. I did not get a good chance to use that. Sad. But it's fine. I still had a good time. I had 2 Temple Monks, which are reprinted cards. 200, 400. When this card enters your field, you gain 400 life. Very basic, but great to start a game with, especially getting 2 of them. 400 or 800 health. That's just helpful. I mean, especially for a chump blocker, it's good. I had a Moonbreeze Fairy, something I may put into my fairy deck. I don't know. It is a 1-drop white fairy. For a moon, fairies you control get 200, 200 until end of turn. Plays ability only once per turn. That just screams, put me in your fairy deck and take out. I have another video that I actually have my fairy deck in. I think I might look for a couple of these and take out a couple cards that I think are not important. All right, we come down to another. This won me games. This is one of the ones that won me games. 300, 300, 1-drop, Lunar Ibis, flying. Awakening for a moon. When this card enters your field, recover target Resonator. If you do, put 2 1/1 counters on this card. Makes it a 5/5 for 2, and you get to untap someone else. Well, it is obviously extremely great with Moonbreeze Elf, because she taps for a moon. You play this out, it you tap her for the moon, you tap your Lightstone for the Lightstone, you play them out. You untap her, give them 2 counters. And if you have your other one in your hand, you can do the same thing because, I mean, on turn 2, that's when you'd be doing it. So then you play 2 of them. That's the main parts of my deck. My winning card, that won me pretty much every game. The reason why I won the game, maybe not the attacker, but the reason why I won the game was Izanagi, Keeper of the Seal. He is he's a 6-drop. He's very, very big, but for draft, you can get to 6. And I didn't mind having him because he's 1100, 1100. When this card enters your field, you may remove up to 3 target Resonators and or Regalia your opponent controls from the game. When this card leaves your field for a non-field zone, put those removed cards into their owner's hands. But it also gains 300, 300 for each card it removed itself. Oh, not all removed cards, but just the cards it removed itself. That was the game winner. That several times, either mulling at the beginning until I get him and a Moonbreeze Fairy, or getting him 3 or 4 cards in. Turn 5, getting him out was devastating. Every single time. Every single time. There was one game that it wasn't, and I will go ahead and explain a little bit more. I got a couple of the cards. I'm not going to go too far into them. I did get another Kaguya's Premonition. I probably should have put this Kaguya's Premonition in instead of the Screw, but yeah. So I got a couple other cards. Nothing real solid. Nothing at all solid. Like I said, I really went for white and green once I noticed that my first pack had Izanagi, and I was like, dude, I think this could be the game. And I got close. 36 people, 9th place. I'm not too upset. I had a good time. Now, things in the pre-release that I noticed were Priscia is a red, green, and 1 void. 3-drop. She comes in, she has 700 attack, 400 defense, which is it's beatable, definitely. I mean, by a lot of things. But it has swiftness, target attack, and what was the other thing she had? Swiftness, target attack. Oh, God. What was the other thing she had? It wasn't Pierce. I don't remember. Swiftness, target attack, and something else. Yeah, maybe I'll remember it. She also had pay 1 green. This card gains flying. And when this card is sent from your field to the graveyard, deal 500 damage to the opponent. That's just a ridiculous card. I actually won against all those decks that had the Prissy in it. I don't know how. I mean, well, I have a Don't Attack, and I have Izanagi, and I have a Tap Down card, and especially the Kaguya's Premonition. Oh man, that that tore her up. So that was a big deal. Was green and red. Green and red did pretty well because you have cards like Rhythm of Life, 800. You have green cards like the Prissy card that gives your Resonator target attack and swiftness, and lets you draw a card. And red had Demon Flame reprinted, 400 damage to target Resonator, or kill a target Resonator who has been dealt damage. There were lots of red cards that were exile cards. Let's see, I think I may have, let's see, put target card from your moved area in your hand. And no one really used that, but nope. Let's see, was there one, did I get one that was, I didn't really go for red. This one I had a couple problems with. A Blessing of Athena. 1 red, whenever added Resonator attacks, it gains 500 until end of turn, and it deals 500 damage to you. So he was, I mean, I kind of baited him into attacking a couple times, and it dealt 500 damage to himself. As well as dealing damage to me, but it was not, I was fine. Like I said, I have 2 of the Temple Monks, which started me with 800, and I also have lots of other things to take that damage and do other stuff with, so it was good. But red had things like exile the top 2 cards of your library, 100 times the mana cost of both cards deals damage to a target creature, which that sucked. I actually won a game because turn 1, I had a Moonbreeze Elf, and he played that, which is it's like a 300. It exiled 2 of the top cards of his library, and it was not enough to kill her, 400 defense. He got 2 1s. He was only able to do 200 damage. And that ended up losing him the game because I was able to play Izanagi on turn 5, and the whole reason he did that was for that reason, and he lost 2 good fire card, or 2 good fire spells that he could have really used. Maybe it was Demon Flame. I can't remember. And then the other time he did it, he lost the other game too that I played against him. He exiled the 2 cards to deal damage to like one of my birds or something. And he exiled Prisia and definitely Demon Flame. And I was like, oh, thank God, dude. Prisia is so annoying. So annoying. She's very, very powerful, and it's hard because, I mean, you just can't stop her. She's swiftness, target attack. She can gain flying. She deals 500 damage to you when she goes to the graveyard. And she has one other thing. I really friggin' wish I can remember what it was. So I saw a lot of fire and wind. Those cards were pretty popular, but they weren't strong enough to stop my decks. The decks that did stop me were the blue ones, and that sucked. One guy pulled the Songstress ruler. One person, only person. He pulled the Songstress ruler. So he pulls her, he's got to show the table. I don't know why that's a rule, but he showed the table. Everyone passed him blue cards. They passed him, they just did, I don't know why. They passed him the Regalia for the Songstress, and they passed him the stone for the Songstress. I mean, he said they passed him because he got her, and he got a couple other really good blue cards, and then they passed him that stuff, and he was like, I can't believe they passed me that stuff. I played against him. He just whomped me. There's nothing I could do. Even Izanagi couldn't take care of. He had a blue army. So what she does is you can look at the top card of your library at any time. He had tons of blue cards that were, if the top card of your library is a Resonator, this card and all other Resonators gets 300, 200. Blue cards that were send a resonator back to your target opponent's hand. Um, uh, and then he had the baton, which untaps other target resonators. So he would tap a target resonator, look at the top, it was a resonator. It would get 300, 300, and all of his other dudes would get 300, 300. He'd attack, tap that one to untap it, and then look again. All of them would get 600, 600 for the turn. It was absolutely insane. And the regalia that he had for it was, you could also look at the top card of your library anytime, I guess. I don't know why. You can put the top card of your library on the bottom of your library. And something about one, well, because he had the ruler for it. One and tap, he could search his library for a card and put it on top of his deck. I was like, dude, you can't fight that in a draft when you're given that good of a deck. He had just the most insane deck. I don't think that'll be that much of a problem normally, but it was a problem in ours. Everyone had a pretty wide variety of cards. I didn't see very much black, honestly. Saw a lot of red, green, white, and blue. Awesome cards, great time. I did not win a playmat in any packs, which kind of sucked. I mean, 36 people, I got 9th. I had a good deck. I really, really made some people work to win. Like time was up. We had a couple turns left. They were like, okay, time, guys, 3 turns. And we're like, okay. So everyone just went all out. And it was they just eked out a victory. It was such a great time. I do recommend people going. I know they're going to have a release event the 12th at most places, some places, the 11th even. Of March. The pre-release was just absolutely fun. A deck of 20 cards. It's so interesting. I didn't get to play any of the pre-releases for this. I play a lot of pre-releases for Magic. So it's interesting to see a 20 card deck. It really lets you play the stuff you want to play. I feel like it gives you much more control. Yeah, Magic feels the same way, but it's so much different with this. I mean, Izanagi came up in every game. I think one game I didn't get him. So, I mean, that's just how it goes. And the way you mulligan in this is amazing. It makes it so much easier to play. Everyone kind of gets, like, their best cards. And there's only a couple times people got mana screwed. And that's only because some people played 3 colors, because there's a lot of alluring cards in all the colors that seem like they go together, but in a draft, no. You can't do it in a draft. So, overall, I had a good time. Blue really took my pre-release by storm. I think the person who actually won did play black and red, but I never played him. Oddly enough, I never got a chance to play him. I don't know, though. I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying not to eavesdrop because, I don't know, screen peek. I just didn't, I don't know, I want to play someone and it's supposed to be a surprise. So I know he was playing black and red because when I finally lost the game and I realized I was in 9th, he was playing and I kind of I was like, well, I'm done anyway. So I looked real quick and I was like, okay, yeah, I think he had black and red. And I believe he didn't lose a game. That's crazy. So he got some really good cards as well. Thank you for watching. Leave some comments. Talk about the pre-release yourself. What did you guys get? Did anyone get an Uber? I know there's Ubers. Did anyone get a ruler? And did the ruler help you win? Or did it screw you because you got excited and you just didn't pull the cards, but you still wanted to play the ruler? Which is exactly how I would have felt had I gotten one. I probably would have. I might not even played white and green if it had not been a white and green ruler. I don't know. Kaguya obviously would have been the best for this one since I think she's white and green. Is she white and green? She plays all moons can be played as green. And then, oh man, I looked at the cards the other day to get a good idea, but I had a good time. There's some ridiculous cards. I do recommend when you're going with green, if you can pick up a Rhythm of Life, such a powerful 800, and it comes back to your hand. Wind Secluded Refuge, that saved me. I had both of them out in the field and an Izanagi, and I was going for the win. And the guy was like, yeah, I can send I can send him back to your hand twice, or I can destroy him twice. He actually had 2 bamboo, 2 luminescent bamboo bullets, 2 of them. But this stops spells and abilities. I mean, it doesn't destroy them; it just cancels them. So if it's a creature, if it's a creature, if it's this Izanagi, you can stop it. You can stop it. Only a particular one. You still have to pick up 2 of them. But, I mean, that saved me. That saved me. So, green, I would recommend that. White, I definitely... green, I also recommend Moonbreeze Fairy. I don't recommend picking up World Tree Protector unless you really get lucky and get several of them. I really got lucky. So, that's what I would pick up in green. White, however... If you can grab an Izanagi, he is devastating to anything. 3 cards exiled on their field, Resonators and Regalia. And they're exiled. That means he can't play them next turn. He can only play them if he gets rid of them. And they go back to their hand. That was another thing I remember. If they make you pick them up and you aren't sure what to do, maybe you have a Secluded Refuge out, and it's like, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to let him make you pick it up and then play it again next turn and exile 3 more. And he made, like the guy who I played against, was going to make me pick him up, and he was tapped out once he made me pick him up. And I was like, well, next turn I have 7 Mana Stone, or 7 Will, and my Fairy out. I played that, and I had 2 open Will, and I made him pick it up, and I gave a Kaguya's, I put all that stuff around, a Kaguya's Premonition to boost, and went in for the kill, and that's just how it goes. So white, if you can, I mean, he's just awesome. This bamboo bullet is very, very good removal for white. Very good removal. Temple Monk is just, if you need a 1-drop, I wouldn't suggest Moonbreeze Fairy unless you... I mean, there's no fairies in the deck, so Kaguya's Premonition is a must. That is an awesome card and such a cheap awakening if you can get a moon. By itself, 200, 400 really isn't bad, but the awakening is really where it's at. Seal of Shining Bamboo, perfect white card. Absolutely wonderful, helped so many times. The Value Birds, Lunar Ibis, great 1-drop. That is definitely a 1-drop I recommend if you can get as many as you can. 300 flyer with an awaken that untaps and gives him counters. I mean... That did lots of possibilities. And this card is okay. Shining Strike. It's not bad. Rest a target Resonator and draw a card. It keeps your card advantage and keeps a Resonator tapped. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll go ahead and end the video now. Leave me some comments. Talk to me about pre-release. Speculate on some cards. And I will see you again with a box, I believe, Friday. This is The Swarm.